call. I'm going to call you on your cell phone, and then it is. Just make sure your cell phone has a battery. Hello, and welcome to the Computer America Show. We have a great show planned for you. We're having some guest problems, which we shouldn't be having, but we are. In the second hour, we're going to computer and technology news brought to you by Slimmer Utilities. And in the first hour, we're going to try to talk to Redmond about their Internet of Things. So sit back, relax, enjoy 2 hours of Computer America coming at you right here.
Okay. Call me. Okay.
Yep.
Your show will go live in 5 seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1.
Broadcasting live, it's America's longest-running national radio talk show on computers, Computer America.
You have reached.
Hosted by national
Please leave
columnist
your message
Craig
after the
Crossman.
tone.
Look for Craig's weekly column in your favorite newspaper. This show is being beamed nationwide at ComputerAmerica.com. Keep it here for technology news, computer products, guest interviews, and your phone calls. You're listening to Computer America.
Hello, and welcome into the Computer America Show. It's the nation's longest-running, nationally syndicated radio talk show on computers. Computer America is heard around the world and coast to coast. And I'm your host, Craig Crossman. Ben, we can't hear you.
And I'm your host, Ben. There we go.
Okay. We're having some technical difficulties, so if you can call our guest on the cell phone.
Of course.
And we'll do that.
It doesn't work.
And we're going to talk with him momentarily. And in the meantime, welcome into a Friday edition of the Computer America Show. It is Friday, yes. And we have a great show planned for you today. In the second hour, we're going to have our social media winner of the week. Some lucky person is going to win a really nice prize from Logitech. The Logitech MX2 Anywhere wireless mouse valued at $80, and we're going to be giving that away to some lucky listener. And of course, in the second hour, we're going to be doing computer and technology news brought to you by Slimware Utilities. They are the official optimization software of Computer America. So, and I know Ben is trying to get a hold of our guest as we speak. Hopefully, we will get that happening. In the meantime, as I said, it is Friday, and Ben, it looks like you have him in the queue waiting. So, nope, I guess not. So
I do not.
All right. Well, keep trying. He's waiting for your call, and if not, we'll make it happen the best we can. But in the meantime, it's interesting. These things happen. It's a live broadcast. We tell our guests what they need to do to make sure. And sometimes we get a guest that just doesn't follow instructions, and then
it wasn't his fault. You're chewing this guy out, even on the air here, which I think is very unprofessional. But it's not even his fault. He's not even the original guest that's supposed to be here. He stepped in for another guest that was unable to make it because he was sick. And now you're chewing him out on the air.
I'm chewing him out. I'm just telling him what happens in time.
Well, the listeners really don't need to know this.
All right. Well, go ahead and do that. And meantime, we'll the last thing you want is chewing out your host on the air too. So anyhow, we are going to be starting the show momentarily. Ben is trying to get the guest on the air, and hopefully we will make that happen. In the meantime, if you have a comment or question, give us a call at 347-884-8881. That's 347-884-8881. We'll get you on and get you through. Also, if you don't want to go on the air, you can also submit a question to us, any page at ComputerAmerica.com. All you have to do is go look at any page at Computer America, and you select submit a question. It's up there in the right hand corner. Just click it. It'll go to our question submission page. You can type in your question or your comment or suggestion, hit the submit button, and Ben and I will see it instantly. The other thing you can also do is watch the computer. We have live video streaming for our show. So if you go to any page at ComputerAmerica.com, again on our our menu bar, you'll see it says Show Lounge. Just click that, and you'll be instantly taken to our live video stream already in progress if you're listening to us live Monday through Friday, 3 to 5 p.m. Eastern Time. You can do that as well. So, so I'll tell you what, Ben, if we can't get our guests, or if we're having a difficulty, I guess we'll just have to do computer news and the first hour, and then we'll see if we can get him later on in the program, because we can continue to try to get him, or leave a voicemail for him and give him the number for him to call us. We could do that. All right.
We've already done that.
Okay, good enough. Excellent. So in the meantime, we will do computer news. And, interesting, Nathan Evans was with us yesterday, and I thought it was a very interesting. He always provides interesting commentary. He's very, how should I say? I mean, he's editorially
very opinionated.
Opinionated, yes, exactly. It makes his point, but we like that. We do. He makes his point and gets across, and then I think at this point we'll just go ahead and start our news segment, and then if we get him, we'll go. We have plenty of stories to do, so let's just go ahead and do it. All right. So today's computer and technology news is brought to you by Slimware Utilities, the official optimization software of Computer America. You can visit them at slimwareutilities.com to clean, speed up, and optimize your Windows system. Slimwareutilities.com.
All right, and I guess I'll take the first one then. Again, sorry about the first hour, guys, but hopefully he does come through eventually. But so for our first story, we're going to go to the magical land of the FBI and Apple, because that has been such a whimsical journey, I think, for all of us to hear. Honestly, we did talk about this with Nathan Evans yesterday, and he's very much by the side of Apple. But I think it's not too much of a stretch for, I think, either person to really see both sides of this argument. But here with this, now one little stickler, because it seemed like the tech industry in general was rallying around Apple and Apple's right to decline to create a massive security flaw and security risk to all of their users to simply simply gain access to one phone. So, and here we have Microsoft, though, made news a couple days ago, because Bill Gates, of all people, Bill Gates allegedly sided with the FBI, and saying that Apple should be more be more respectful and responsive, and try to help the FBI in their investigation in any way that they could. But Bill Gates very immediately said his words were taken out of context. Yeah. He had a much more nuanced approach, and here we have a story from Max and PC, Mr. Kevin Parrish. And yeah, it's now we have where Microsoft and Bill Gates was pro FBI, and now we have the opposite, which I think was the real stance to begin with. And just to make this clear, so again, this is a story, Max and PC. You should definitely check this out, because honestly, this article does a really good job, and there's a lot more to this. Like, there's a lot more story even beyond what we've just told you. But Microsoft President and Chief Legal Officer Brad Smith said during a congressional hearing on Thursday that the company plans to file an amicus brief next week to show its support for Apple. The news follows a statement made by Bill Gates earlier this week, who said he was disappointed that the media outlets felt he supports the government in its dispute against Apple, which, of course, isn't entirely true. And, of course, if it's not entirely true, then it's false. That's how the truth works. Yeah. So Microsoft joins a number of tech people, including everyone from Google and the Alphabet companies to Twitter, and, of course, Amazon, I believe, also came out in support. Just all the tech people are really standing behind Apple on this one. And according to the USA Today, Smith said that Microsoft wholeheartedly supports Apple, which is currently refusing to create software so the FBI can gain access to the iPhone 5C used by one of San Bernardino's shooters. The FBI currently can't get around the passcode security feature, which will wipe the device if the passcode is entered incorrectly 10 times. So the FBI simply wants to bypass this feature by and use brute force to gain access. Again, we talked about this a couple days ago. The FBI simply wants they don't want Apple to admittedly hand over a user's data. All the FBI wants, hint hint, quote unquote, is to allow the FBI to try as many attempts to enter a PIN number as they would like. Not the 10, but if they could enter 10,000, they would be happy. And of course, letting them try an unlimited number of times is essentially equal to here's the password. Because if you allow them to try them all, then that security feature that you have built in for security purposes is no longer relevant. So, and they said, as previously reported, the FBI deemed the software a simple tool. However, Apple CEO Tim Cook says it will be an entirely new version of iOS that's void of specific security features, providing the FBI with a backdoor. And this would be a dangerous tool, one that Apple does not want to create. And for very good reason. I mean, if this was a version of iOS that simply didn't have the security feature of it would wipe the contents after 10 incorrect passwords, then imagine if someone in the black hat hacking community got a hold of this. They could force update people's phones to this particular version of iOS, and then brute force password entry. It's not a very complicated thing. You try 11111 and then 11112 and so on and so forth until the PIN number is cracked. And if you could somehow force an iPhone that you have in your hand to update to that version of iOS, then all of the security features, even up to the fingerprint scanner, everything that have made smartphones safer over the past couple of years, is null and void. So Apple very admittedly wants to protect all their users by not creating this tool at all.
Ben, why do you think everybody thought that Bill Gates was siding with the FBI as opposed to, which is evidently not the case? Why did people get that impression? What was it?
Because I think that a lot of media is lazy, and I honestly do. And Bill Gates' stance was a little bit more nuanced. He thought that Bill Gates, he came up with a couple of different ways that Apple could have extended a helping hand to the FBI, that Apple wouldn't have to breach its terms of service to all of its users or create security backdoors. Like he was mentioning all connecting to a home Wi-Fi that already knew, so they could hack into it that way. Bill Gates was offering a lot of different ways that Apple could help without actually creating this backdoor. But Bill Gates, at the end of the day, completely supports the right to privacy and that kind of thing. So, but I think they heard all the ways that that Bill Gates was trying to get the FBI into this phone, and they immediately ran with Bill Gates sides with the FBI and Windows is now against Apple, which is not the case. But all right. Yeah.
Well, this story says that the FBI had previously indicated that they wanted Apple's help only with that one phone that was an iPhone 5C, the one from San Bernardino. But then evidently the Justice Department wanted Apple to unlock at least 9 additional iPhones involved in different cases. And I think
of course, when you create this tool for one, it's give your mouse a cookie, he's going to want a glass of milk. And if you create this tool once and you give it to law enforcement, of course they're going to use it again. Of course they're going to use it over and over and over if it continues to work, because the Constitution is such a hassle when you have to follow it, and people's Fourth Amendment, where you are protected from unlawful searches, and if you had this tool, you could just kind of get around it. You could just ignore that part of the Constitution. But here we are. Apple is, of course, they know people's rights, and they know that creating such a tool would violate people's rights.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I mean, and I agree. And I know Nate Evans also agreed with that stance too.
He said that even if you hate Apple, even if you think Apple fanboys are the most annoying people in the world, everyone who values any kind of privacy in this world should be on the side of Apple.
Evidently, Apple, of those 9 cases, Apple's fighting 7 of those cases at the very least. They don't want to do it. I guess we'll see how it plays out, and because not only this particular case, because I think whatever it's decided, it will basically set the precedence.
It's not even precedent. It's it's like, okay, it's not even precedent in a legal sense. It's if Apple caves in and creates back doors for the government to enter any phone. First of all, those back doors can be easily compromised by other hackers. We saw this numerous times, that whenever you put in some kind of security flaw that was intended, hackers are going to identify it and abuse it. So it's just going to make your whole operating system much less secure, just from the get-go. And then not even from a legal standpoint, but from law enforcement says we need to get into this phone, giving law enforcement the tools to get into that phone without any kind of oversight. There's there's nothing judicial about that. They now can get into any phone. That's just how it is.
Yeah. Well, this is being
any Apple phone. Don't mean to blow this out of proportion because Amazon I'm sorry, Android and all that kind of stuff. But anyways, any Apple phone. But yeah, Tim Cook, like I said, the FBI came to Apple in a very hush hush manner, saying, "Hey, can you help us out?" And Tim Cook, the CEO of Apple, came right around and said, "We will not do that, and we're going to take this to the public, and we're going to shout it from the rooftops. This is against everything that Apple is for." And yeah, it's continuing to go on. And honestly, it is a very important news story because there's so much at stake in terms of privacy. I know we like to think that privacy is dead, but at least someone out there, and luckily it's the largest smartphone manufacturer in America. At least someone out there is still fighting for the idea that what you have in your possession, unless ordered by the courts, it's completely your right to keep it private.
Yeah, exactly. If Apple does this, in a related story, also by the same author, the amount of work Apple is going to have to do. I mean, they would have to set up an additional lab. They would need dedicated employees to work on the project. That project could take as long as 4 weeks, maybe even longer. And Apple.
I'll say 4 weeks doesn't sound like that much, and no. It wouldn't be like that long. It would be turning off a security feature and trying to plug up as many holes as possible that could cause, and then just pushing the update out to that one phone, and then doing your darndest to make sure that no one else gets their hands on this iOS version.
And on top of that, Apple's also concerned that if it's forced to create this backdoor or operating system, whatever you want to call it, then the next step, once you've opened the door, Apple could be forced to turn on the microphone and track the user, turn on the video camera, in the name of government surveillance, so.
Right. So, and of course, this is, the San Bernardino shooting, and the FBI assumes that there's contact information, or at least some kind of information that might lead them to other people who have helped, who helped them pull off such a horrible, horrible shooting. And, that this is a case that the perpetrators, they're already dead. I mean, they're not, you don't need to surveil someone who's already dead. So what happens when, you pull these same emotional heartstrings, the same one that says, "Hey, we need to protect America, help us with this." These are dead criminals, and they're trying this hard. Imagine what happens when they need to monitor a ring of suspected terrorists. Mm-hmm. And, and these people, are kicking and, supposedly about to hurt a lot of innocent people. then Greg, you're right. By legal precedent, now they have to start bugging their own customers. Now they have to start bugging their own phones because they're suspected, and that is Orwellian at best.
Yeah, you really will. It will open up a can of worms.
It's very, very impressive of Tim Cook and Apple in general to see the writing on the wall that it isn't just the password to one phone. It's it really is just a slippery slope.
Yeah. Again, once you begin the process, if you let one through, and then it basically opens up a floodgate, and that's going to be really difficult. It's going to be really difficult to stop it once it happens. You have to nip it in the bud. You have to do it right up front. You just got to say no. So, there it is. I guess it all boils down to how much of your privacy are you willing to sacrifice in the name of security.
And then that is, of course, a constant, line of questioning. But at least Apple is taking the hardline stance of, we value our customers' data, or at least privacy when they own their phones and it's their phones. If you sync it to the iCloud and it's in Apple's possession where it's stored on their servers, they'll hand that over with a smile. Of course, with the proper court order, they will hand that over because it may be your data, but you're giving it to Apple to store, so therefore it's kind of their data, and they'll hand it over. But if it's on your phone and it's not shared with anyone, and you're not synced up with anyone, if it's simply on your device, you own that, and you are the only one who has access to give it away.
Yeah, exactly. All right. So I think again, we're going to see how it plays out, and we definitely will stay on top of the story. And I'm sure by the weekend, by Monday, we'll have even more.
Well, I know we really don't do politics here on the show, but there have been political debate. For anyone who didn't know, there are people running for president of the United States. And they just recently had a Republican debate, and of course, almost unanimously, every candidate who was running for the Republican nomination actually sided with the FBI in this one. So it's not just the cloak and dagger hidden arm of the FBI. But I mean, there are people in the public, and again, it's not too hard to see both sides of the story. So it's definitely going to continue, and I would just say that at least in my personal opinion, and Nathan Evans' personal opinion, and I think Craig's personal opinion, if I'm getting it right, it seems like Apple is doing the right thing.
Yep, I think so. Okay. All right, we're continuing to do computer and technology news brought to you by Slimware Utilities, the official optimization software of Computer America. Engadget as an interesting one. This is actually one. Google Docs. I know so many more. I mean, we use Google Docs here. We use Google.
It's a very powerful tool.
Yeah, we use Calendar. We use the Docs. We use all of them. And because it is, by the way, I think we have our guest on the line there. So why don't you check that's him, and maybe we'll switch over to him. But I think he's calling. So why don't you do that, and I'll do this news story. Google Docs will now let you edit and format text with your voice. Okay. Now, basically, back in September, Google rolled out the voice typing in Docs, letting you compose text without needing to touch the keyboard. Well, whether or not talking instead of typing is more efficient is still up for debate, but it can be handy in a variety of situations. Google has today expanded its voice typing feature in Docs to add the ability to recognize a variety of editing and formatting commands that work seamlessly with the existing dictation feature. So not only is it transcribing what you're saying, you can actually take your transcribed words and add formatting. So you can smoothly go from actually dictating text to telling Docs to do paragraph breaks, adding bullet points lists, selecting specific text, applying different text formats, and even adding a text smiley face. Google's voice recognition and processing still remains best in class, so this will likely work well enough. Though not all commands might be immediately intuitive, it'll probably take a little practice before you have your voice dictation and editing flow down. Google has a full set of the available voice commands available in its Help Center, or you can just say voice commands help to get assistance. Now, if you're already a voice typing devotee, this should only make things easier. You can give voice formatting a try today. Actually, it started up yesterday. This is a story from yesterday, again in a gadget. But I like this because that you can format things. You can basically it takes it to the next level. So not only is it transcribing your speech, but you can actually edit the text and make it to your own view. Again, check it out. If you're using Google Docs now, it's already there. It's really simple to do, and you can check it out for yourself. Google Docs formatting. Okay, so I think we'll go ahead and Ben, we have him on the phone. Why don't we go and see what we can recover for him? Okay.
Sure.
All right. So let me get things started here. Again, the REDMOND is the company that was scheduled for today, and evidently we have them now. And REDMOND is on a mission to make your life as easy and stress-free as possible by creating products designed specifically to suit your lifestyle. The products offer you the latest and most advanced technological innovations in the field of electronics. Now, here with us is Andrei Kolonov. He is a co-founder of REDMOND. Andrei, welcome into Computer America. How are you?
Hello, I'm doing well. Well, yes. How are you?
We're doing fine, and we're glad that we're able to get you on the show. Thank you for joining.
Better late than never.
Yeah, it's better late than never. So, Andrei, tell us a little bit about the company itself. What is REDMOND?
Yes. So REDMOND is a modern appliance manufacturer. Basically, the company strives to produce different innovative products, including smart products and including multi-cookers. So the company is about 4 years on the market. They were actively expanded in Europe and in USA now. So basically, in the US, we start with a multi-cooker, which is a universal cooking machine that can prepare different food, and it has different programs like it can cook, bake, fry, slow cook, make yogurt, and many other great things. What is great about the multi-cooker is that you just simply put all your ingredients into the appliance and press a button, and multi-cooker will cook it itself all your dishes. Now, the more interesting part is that, sorry.
No, so you put all the, now you have to take the,
well, and sorry, I'm not too familiar with this. Is a multi-cooker similar or different than, let's say, a slow cooker?
Like a crock pot, yeah.
It's a slow cooker. It's a part of a multi-cooker. I mean, a slow cooker just has one program, which is slow cook program, and multi-cooker has many other programs. It can be, it actually can cook under the pressure, like pressure cooker.
Oh.
It can cook like slow cooker, and it can cook like regular multi-cooker. So it has it's like 10 different kitchen appliances in one.
Now, I mean, I'm looking at the electric pressure multi-cooker, and it's got a front panel that it looks really sophisticated. It's got a LED readout. You've got all these different buttons on here, and I know you offer different versions of it, but which one? Let's talk a little bit, because you have several different models here, and I want to ask what's some of the difference between all these different models? Why do you have so many different versions of this cooker?
Yes, it depends on different programs, depends on different needs of a customer, and of course the design as well. Basically, some cookers have many different programs and very universal for advanced chiefs, and others just simply a cooking machine that can be fit for any person who doesn't know how to cook. So some simple multi-cookers and have 6 or 8 programs on which you can prepare many different dishes. Another cooker has up to 55 programs. It's very advanced and quite sophisticated.
Yeah, I'm looking at some of these here. They seem to be extremely advanced, and it looks like you have some simpler models as well. But I guess what we should probably do is talk about the top of the line model, and then go down from there. And what we'll do is when we come back, Andrea, we'll do that. We're at our first break, so we're gonna take a short break, and then we'll come back and then talk about these as well. Okay. All right.
Sure.
All right.
Okay.
You're listening to the Computer America Show. We are talking to REDMOND. We have Andrei Kolonov is here with us, co-founder of the company. We'll get into the product specifics when we come back. This is Computer America. Please stay with us.
Sometimes disaster strikes. Data can be lost due to many different reasons: accidental reformatting, power spikes, virus attacks. Zero Assumption Recovery provides a suite of highly effective and thorough data recovery software for Windows operating systems. ZA is suitable for home users and small businesses who need a powerful data recovery solution for Windows and Linux file systems.
Go to z-a-recovery.com.
Sometimes disaster strikes. Data can be lost due to many different reasons: accidental reformatting, power spikes, virus attacks. Zero Assumption Recovery provides a suite of highly effective and thorough data recovery software for Windows operating systems. ZA is suitable for home users and small businesses who need a powerful data recovery solution for Windows and Linux file systems.
Go to z-a-recovery.com.
Hi, this is Craig Crossman, host of the Computer America Show. You have important meetings to schedule. Your company's getting ready for its IPO, and you're in charge of the PTA fundraiser this month. So how do you coordinate everyone to be available at the same time? Are you still using emails, phone calls, even text messages to schedule meetings with a group of people? How's that working out for you? That's so great, huh? It's a fact that every day, millions of people suffer from scheduling headaches. Well, with Doodle, scheduling meetings with a group of people is quick and easy. With Doodle, you can easily propose available times to each member. Each one checks off the times that they're available, and then you simply pick the time that works best for the group, all in an easy-to-read display that integrates with your existing calendar. Nothing could be more simple. Give Doodle a try for free, and like millions of Doodle users, you'll truly see how easy it is to find the perfect date and time for all your meetings. That's www.doodle.com.
Worst superhero ever? Gotta be Mucinex, man. Marty Winston with the News Tips Bulletin Review for Computer America. This time, the Noritz Condensing Tankless Water Heater. This hot water heater is about the size of a big wastebasket and can deliver an endless supply of hot water at up to 9.8 gallons per minute. When you turn on any hot water tap, the flow that creates triggers a natural gas burner to warm the water flowing through a heat exchanger, like a car radiator in reverse. So it's hot water you're setting between 100 and 140 degrees Fahrenheit, entering the pipes without any need to store and keep heating a tank full. In a condensing model like ours, the cold water feed is routed to pick up what would otherwise be waste heat at the flue for a bonus bump in fuel efficiency. Bottom line, with this Noritz condensing tankless water heater, we can get endless hot water without taking a bath on the gas bill. Marty Winston, News Tips Bulletin for Computer America.
Welcome back to the Computer America Show at 33 minutes past the hour. And this time, next hour, we'll be giving away an MX Anywhere 2 mouse here on the show.
Yes, we will.
We love giving away prizes. It's one of the perks of listening to us, but it's also a chance for us to really promote awesome technology that we really like. And the MX Anywhere 2 mouse, a mouse that just works and is very, very portable. And Logitech always makes great stuff, so we really like giving one of those out. And yeah, we'll do that next hour. But here in the first hour, we were able to get Andrew Kalinov on He is from Redmond or Ready for Sky, and we're talking all about their appliances and their electronics. And of course, this is going to tie into the Internet of Things, because all these are very, very high tech.
Yeah.
And Craig, I believe we just started talking about their multi-cooker.
Right. I think the top of the line, Andreev, is the electric pressure multi-cooker. That's the model RMC M110A. Is that the top of the line cooker that you offer?
At the right now moment, yes.
Okay.
But we already developed another multi-cookers that can be controlled through the smartphone and can be controlled over the internet.
Oh, well, that's
completely, yes.
And that's why we want to talk about that one. What model is that? Is that on your website? Can we talk about it? Is it?
Yes, it's on our partner's website. We just don't want to disclose information yet for
okay.
our clients in North America. Yes.
All right.
So it's for your show, we will specially tell that it's a multi-cooker M800.
Okay.
RMC M800. Yes, it has around 28 programs, automatic, and 20 manual programs. This cooker can be controlled through the phone, and it's very, very advanced model. You can just switch it. You can do wherever you want with the cooker through our partner's mobile application. The mobile application is Ready for Sky. It's our partner. So basically, once we created this smart cooker, we recognized that actually the mobile application allows you control even more different features. For example, you can change the cooking program, like automatic program. You cannot change it manually on a cooker, but with mobile application, you even can change automatic program by yourself. So these new features came up with only smart cookers, which was very interesting for us. Also, we go further now, and we develop different kitchen appliances, smart kitchen appliances like smart kettles, coffee makers, and opened another categories and created smart sockets, smart light, smart fitness scales, all that stuff.
Now you're working with a partner called Ready for Sky. So readyforsky.com, and I see they have fitness and health. You have kitchen scales, you have body scales, you have home electric sockets. These are all working with smartphones, and they use what, Bluetooth technology to communicate?
They use both. Right now, it's up the customer decided what to use. Customer, I mean the manufacturer company, a brand. Some prefer to use Wi-Fi. Others prefer to use Bluetooth. We go with Bluetooth because the reason is that when you have around 20-25 appliances at home and start using them through the Wi-Fi, the connection can be stable, because Wi-Fi connection sometimes when it's overwhelmed, it has different disruptions. With Bluetooth, you can control as many as possible devices, and the connection is really stable.
Well, I'm looking at the multi-cooker, the RMC M800S. That's the one that I'm looking at here. It's got a really nice looking control panel. It's got LED.
Yeah, and I guess one thing that we should probably cover sooner rather than later is I think a lot of people are used to. I know personally, when I was given my first set of cooking equipment, it was the one that I think was from 2 generations ago. Like, it was lucky to have an on-off switch and not like a lighter. Things have been pretty basic in the kitchen for a long time. Add heat, cook something, and then you're done. Why did you guys feel like more technology was the way to go with this? Are your customers finding the convenience better, or is it what about adding the Internet of Things and connectivity to these products is making it better for your customers?
Yes, actually, our mission is to make the customer's life easier. And the first is, of course, with these smart products, it's very convenient for you. You use them. For example, you wake up at 9 o'clock and you already have a prepared coffee, prepared food. You can control your electricity at home, your lights. So another products which we created, like iron, was very interesting. That everybody asked us why you created a smart iron, and the answer was all the time a security question, because many people left their houses and just start thinking whether I switch off the iron. So,
Yeah, I've had that happen to me too. It's always either the iron or the oven, and you don't know which one you forgot to turn off. But so you're saying that with this connected iron, and don't get me wrong, I've never before heard of an Internet of Things iron. It's mainly to, I guess, make sure it's off, but also, I mean, I guess you could preheat it and things like that.
yes, there are two main functions of smart iron. The first, of course, just weather check whether it's off or not. The second, that can be actually sometimes it happens. Then child tried to switch it on, and you receive immediately the notification that somebody switched on your iron. And of course, you understand it's probably a child because you're not at home. So you can block it instantly to prevent any dangerous situation.
That's nice.
It is nice. Okay, and it's a nice looking iron too. I mean, it looks like it looks like it can travel at about 150 miles an hour. I mean, it looks.
It's definitely top shelf Bed Bath & Beyond quality, not middle or low shelf.
Yeah, we're talking about the RIC 250S again. Iron. It's a ceramic sole plate, and again has the vertical steam and water spray and permanent power of steam, anti-drip. It's got a nice water tank. It's has self-cleaning functions, double injection processing. So it has all these different.
It's only slightly better than the computer you're listening to the show on.
That's right. But it does. It looks very, very cool. So now, and again, you're working in conjunction with Ready for Sky, because Ready for Sky takes these products and adds the Internet of Things ability to these different home products. Correct? I mean, it looks like you have electric kettles, you have coffee makers, multi-cookers, rice cookers. They even have thermopots, kitchen scales, fitness scales, and electric sockets, even lights. And also climate control, air conditioning, heaters, security. They have a wide variety. Ready for Sky has a wide variety. And now, but the product that you have at Redmond specifically is the multi-cooker product. That's what Redmond makes?
Redmond actually have around 150 SKUs on the market. Mostly we sell them in Europe, and now we just launched sales in US with a multi-cookers, our main product. We are planning to bring all our product range to the United States by the end of 2016. All smart products as well. Yes, and Ready for Sky is our partner. It's a company that creates all the smart things for manufacturers. Manufacturers decides by itself what chipset to use, Wi-Fi or Bluetooth. And the great feature about Ready for Sky is that it has only one mobile application, and you can control different devices in only one mobile application, which is really nice and cool. Right now on the market, there are many different smart products, but you need to install several applications to control them. So with Ready for Sky, you just control all in one.
Right, exactly. So it's a collaboration, basically, between the two companies to make these products work.
Which honestly, I could definitely see the value of, because as we kind of go on year after year, we were just out of CES, and I'll be the first to tell you, folks, in 5 years, everything's going to be connected to the internet. It's just the way that the market is going. Just like nowadays, it's kind of hard to buy a TV that's not connected to the internet. It's going to be the same thing with almost every major appliance that you own. But the problem is like, if you have 15 different brands and, or even 15 different devices, they're all using their own, their own app and their own ecosystem and their own everything. So I guess by partnering with Ready for Sky, as you start bringing stuff over, they're all going to work from kind of one ecosystem and one app. I assume is what you're going for.
Yes, exactly. And it's actually very interesting. You mentioned that they have a kettle from one company like Philips and a multi-cooker from REDMOND. But you control them in one app, and this app understands your needs, what you want. It adapts exactly to your needs. It's very interesting and well-developed mobile application. So hopefully Ready for Sky will be converted to kind of operating system of controlling smart appliances.
Let me ask you this, Andre. Why did you select Ready for Sky to add these abilities to your products? I mean, how is Ready for Sky, let's say, different from other Internet of Things solution providers that are out there?
Yeah, we tried to find another companies that can have capabilities to quickly upgrade our products and make them smart in a short time range. And in a stable, the company has to provide a stable mobile application, and we actually couldn't find the right one, so that's why we just asked Ready for Sky, it's a new company, to help us to develop, and they created around 35 appliances for us in 1 year. Actually, they make them smart. It was very interesting and tough work, where manufacturers and IoT provider company, our developers were working in one room and we were developing all that stuff. It was really interesting.
Really? So how many devices do you think are already connected? It's the same. It's the one app. How many devices are already connected to the one app?
We don't know about, we know that Ready for Sky already works with like 12 different brands. We don't know the others, but it's about 35 right now products.
Okay.
Our products 35.
So how much more does, let's say if I buy two comparable products, both from REDMOND, a multi-cooker, but it doesn't have the Ready for Sky, and the one that does have the Ready for Sky, how much additional cost does the Internet of Things add to your product?
It's roughly about $70 bucks, the difference, which is not actually much for a multi-cooker. And we also created smart simple multi-cookers. So the price of smart simple multi-cooker will be less than the most advanced without Ready for Sky technology.
Wow. Okay. Well, you attribute that to this just cost of things coming down? I mean,
Yes, of course. We notice it, especially chips. The cost of chip is coming down greatly. And I think eventually we will not add additional cost for smart products. It's our kind of policy, and I think mostly companies will not add additional cost for the smart products because people just will demand it.
Yeah. Now, when I think of a cooker, I either think of a crock pot, where you put things in, it cooks in low heat. You put everything the night before, and then when you wake up in the morning, everything is miraculously cooked, and the meat, usually if you put meat in there, it becomes very, very tenderized, so you can use a less expensive cut of meat in it. But I'm looking at your cookers. You not only are like a crock pot, it looks to me like you also do you combine several different technologies. Looks like
and that's what I was talking about earlier, where it could also be a pressure cooker, which they're a lot of fun to cook with. And I think you also mentioned that it could also be kind of an oven kind of deal, where it just kind of heats up and kind of bakes it in the same unit.
And that's what you mean by a multi-cooker. So I guess let me ask you, how many different types of cooking can you do with your multi-cooker?
Well, it's really depends on the product and depends on the user. But at least you can bake, fry, cook, slow cook. You can still have steam cook. All any cooking operations that exist.
Okay, so you can bake, steam, slow cook. You can make a stew like chili. You can saute. You can boil.
It can make popcorn.
And I don't know if you can make popcorn.
It can make popcorn.
You make popcorn in it too. Okay, so
yes.
And you can use like a rice cooker. You can make rice in it, obviously. So look, it seems to be extremely versatile. And then you take this electric pressure multi cooker, and then you add the Internet of Things ability to it, which just makes it even more flexible. And you have yourself an extremely versatile cooking appliance in your kitchen, which I think basically is the mission involved. What can you project a little bit what the retail value is going to be when this comes to the United States, Andre?
For smart products, for smart cooker, it will be around $220 as a retail price.
Wow,
that's definitely in line with most similar multi cookers and things like that, and just a smart device added into it. And I guess yes, we now have to ask the important question: is this pressure cooker compatible with my iPhone?
We develop it for Android and iPhone. Now we are working ready for Skype to add Windows platform for Windows app, Windows phones, and for BlackBerries.
Will I be able to use my computer at my office to access it, or is it strictly smartphones?
Through the web interface, we're still developing it ready for Sky. Hopefully, you will be able to do it as well through your computer.
Yeah. So there you are. If you're in your office, and you want to, start dinner, a few hours ahead of time. As long as you have everything set in there, you can access it, turn it on, and when you come home, dinner is served. Really, I mean, that's nice.
Yes.
That is nice. Again, about $200 and some odd dollars. Now, when is this actually going to be available in the United States? When can people start ordering it?
I think we will bring the product by July 2016.
Okay. All right. So about 3 or 4 more months, you can order it. And then
come on, we're talking marketing right now, just in time for the holidays in 6 months.
Exactly. What else do you want to do? Let's talk a little future. Where do you see Redmond in the next next year? What other products do you think you're going to be coming out with?
Yeah, we are turning right now Redmond to completely smart direction. And we're planning to sell only smart products by 2018.
Interesting.
Just like this. Yeah.
So all of your.
We already started to it in Europe, and we will do it in the United States as well.
So eventually, all of your products are going to be internet oriented, is what you're saying. They're all going to have that ability.
Yes.
Yeah. Exactly.
Exactly.
Okay. If you want to see more, you certainly can go to the website. You can go to the Redmond website at Redmond, REDMOND.com, or you can go to our website at ComputerAmerica.com. We actually have a link right there on our homepage. You can actually see a picture of the Redmond multi-cooker on our home screen, and you can click on that. It's up there as well, so you can get. People can pre-order it as well if they want to. I assume.
Well, we do not provide pre-order for smart products.
Okay. All right.
It's kind of our policy. Do not provide pre-orders. We just sell once we have it on our hand in the United States. But right now we sell not smart, just regular multi-cookers, and the price is really nice for now for the United States.
Right.
So it's kind of for 40% off because we just entered this market.
Okay. Well, great. Well, listen, I want to thank you for being here with us on the show. I know we had little technical issues, but I'm glad that we were able to get you on the program and let our listeners know about about Redmond, and they can go to your website and see it for yourself. And Andre,
very cool stuff.
Yeah, very cool stuff, and actually very hot stuff. And thank you for being with us here on the show today.
Thank you very much. Thank you for inviting to your show.
All right, you take care. Have a good weekend. Bye-bye. All right. Bye-bye. All right, there he goes. Okay, so I think I'm glad we were able to get that in. And
I want one.
Yeah.
I have to wait until July, but I think I want one of these. I unfortunately never really got the chance to use a pressure cooker. My dear mother always said that I was going to blow my head off with one of those, but because they tend to explode sometimes.
Yeah,
but you know, hey, that's the joy of cooking.
But they have release valve. They all have pressure release valves built.
And that's not the thing. It's when the locking mechanism fails and the lid kind of shoots off, into the ceiling. That's the problem. But no. But I've used crockpots for a long time, and I'm still very much enjoying the sous vide that we had on the show, the sous vide supreme that we had on the show, and I still very much enjoy using that product. So, I mean, I am really looking forward to this product being released in the U.S.
I enjoy when you enjoy using the CV, because I always get to have some of it, and it's really, really good.
Yeah, you steal my food. Rude.
I don't steal it. I ask if I can have some, and you hopefully.
And I say no, and you're like, "Well, I'm gonna have some anyway." It's like, oh.
Well, he's waving this delicious, cooked meal in front of me, and it's hard to say no to that. But anyhow, and Ben, of course, is the, along with his mother, is the cook or the cooks.
I won't lie. No, I don't want to say it that way, but I enjoy when I make good food and I have to carry it in front of people who do not make good food. And I take my good food away, but I like to, I used to do this to my brother in college, where I would, make a great steak dinner, or make a big old sub or something like that. And of course, I can, I learned how to, make home cooked meals, before I left for college. But then my brother, he learned nothing, so he would see me walk by with a plate of home cooked food, and he'd be drooling. He'd be like, "Can I have some?" I'd be like, No, you can't. Not at all. But you can be sure I cooked it in front of him and I ate it in front of him because I liked it that way.
You're such a good brother.
I know. People learn to cook. It is a very important skill, and it seems like Redmond, I mean, if you want a new tool, this is one, that he was mentioning all the different programs, and this is just their not yet, or this is their currently released model, not even their not yet released model. But I mean, it has stew, pilaf for rice, oatmeal, yogurt, chili. This one thing, it'd probably be a pretty good way to start cooking.
Yeah, the only thing it can't do is sous vide, but that's a whole different the cooker, and that's.
I wouldn't be surprised if it probably could.
Really,
I would not be surprised at all, because sous vide is simply cooking at a very precise temperature over long periods of time. And this, and this pressure cooker, slow cooker, what have you, looks like it could probably hold an exact temperature. So I would not be surprised. Obviously, the capacity would not be the same.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Well, the sous vide also has, you do the vacuum seal of the food, and then you
I'm just saying, if this product from Redmond could keep, let's say, 140 degrees, for 24 hours, you could sous vide in it.
Yeah, because it does have an automatic shut-off timer on it too. So you would have to see if you could extend that. But hey, anything is possible. All right. Well, we're going to continue doing our computer and technology news in the second hour of the show. Also, we're going to have our social media winner of the week. Should I hint or tease where they're located? No, I'm not going to do that, because then if you're not in the city, you'll say, well, it's not me this week. So we won't do that. We'll wait. And but we've got some interesting stories coming up. Basically, we're going to talk about evidently Black Ops 3 multiplayer free. You can play it for free until this coming Sunday afternoon. Wow, that's going to be interesting. We'll talk about that there. Also, we're going to talk a little bit about solar cells. That one of the things about solar cells is that I mean, they're big, they're bulky, and they're inefficient. But they now have a solar cell that's so thin you could blow it away. Literally, it's that tiny. And also, some of the stories we're going to talk about Amazon's new ad-supported show. Okay. These stories and more coming up. And, of course, our social media winner of the week. That's happening momentarily here on the second hour of Computer America. Please stay with us. We will be right back.
Broadcasting live, it's the only national radio talk show on computers to air every weeknight. Computer America, hosted by national columnist Craig Crossman. The first hour's behind us, but there's still more of tech news, tech talk, and your phone calls. We're being beamed nationwide at ComputerAmerica.com. You got computer problems? Bring them on. You're listening to Computer America. Computers run the world, and we run computers. Call us or send us an email to live@computeramerica.com.
Hello and welcome to hour 2 of the nation's longest running, nationally syndicated radio talk show on computers. This is the Computer America Show, and I'm your host, Craig Crossman.
And I'm your co-host, Ben.
And we are going to continue on with our computer and technology news. Again, thanks to REDMOND for making an appearance on the program and telling about their Internet of Things and their Internet-connected cooking products and ironing products, and they make a wide variety of appliances that connect to the internet. And if you missed any portion of that, again, you can always listen to it again. We archive all of our shows at ComputerAmerica.com, and just click the archive from the menu bar that's on any page, and you can listen to us at the Blog Talk Radio Network, of course, the IRN Radio Network, the TuneIn Radio Network, Apple's iTunes carries archives, Stitcher, SoundCloud, all carry archives of the Computer America Show. And also something new is that if you have an Amazon Echo, you can now listen to the Computer America Show on your Amazon Echo. Okay, so just more interesting things appearing on the program. Anyhow, we're going to continue on with the computer news. Anything else you want to mention before we start doing some of these stories, Ben?
No, I'd say we get to the more of these news stories.
Okay, so we're going to start off with this. We teased it that everybody likes free, and free is a great way to entice people into trying something. Try before you buy. It's been around. I don't know, since the day of the flood, and it's a successful formula for getting people to try something for free. They like it, and then they're hooked, and so then they have to buy it. And this announcement came up about an hour ago that Black Ops 3 multiplayer version, you can play it free until this Sunday afternoon. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
This is from Paul Lilly. He says, obviously Valentine's Day is over, football season's finished, NBA playoffs won't start for another month. So basically, if you're looking for something to do this weekend, well, you can try multiplayer action in Call of Duty Black Ops 3, and you can do it for free. Yep. Basically, the free period has already begun, and it runs until 1 p.m. Pacific. That's 3 p.m. Eastern time on Sunday. So there's plenty of time to hop in and log some kills. This is for the multiplayer portion only, which activation which Activision recently began selling as a standalone purchase for $15. Okay. Now, it's not the full multiplayer experience, but it does include ranked multiplayer with a level cap of 55, access to the weapon paint shop, gunsmith, and black market, plus the arena, free run, and theater game modes. Now, there are certain emissions. There are no zombie in the game mode. Aw. But you can play in custom multiplayer games. And you can't play in custom multiplayer games. However, there's plenty to keep you busy for a few days, to try it out before you buy it. Now, the standalone multiplayer portion will be available to purchase up through this coming Monday. So if you end up having a blast and you want to keep the good times rolling, then don't hesitate. Don't wait around in making the purchase. By the way, it's also worth mentioning that Activision has marked down the full game, including the deluxe version. So if you purchase the standalone multiplayer pack, you can upgrade to the full game for another $24.60, or to the deluxe version of $65. Now, by themselves, they're currently on sale for $39.59 and $79.99 respectively. So, if you're going to make the plunge, this is a great weekend. You got the weekend, let's do it, Or you could just, hang around and do some plumbing around the house, fix that broken sink or something. But, this sounds a lot more fun. And I would suggest that you give it a try. What do you think, Ben?
I think I can see why people are getting annoyed with game development, with game studios. All this crap about, the good old days of 5 years ago when you used to be able to walk into a store, put down $60 and say, get me this game. And now you go to the store and you're like, $15 for a multiplayer pack, $60 for the full game, including this, and this, $80 for the deluxe version, which has this, and this, and then and also a season pass. And season pass lets you get the extra maps for free, which everyone else, if you only paid $60, you're going to pay another $10 for the extra maps when they come out in a little while. And then you can get the super deluxe package, which has this, and this, and extras and bonus and features. Oh my God, people! Oh my God! What happened to the day where you bought a game for $60 and you owned all the content? I can see why people are getting annoyed. And of course, the Call of Duty franchise has never been, the franchise to hold up as the golden standard of what all games should be. Indeed, people are actually pretty annoyed because it's a AAA blockbuster that sells 1 billion copies every year. By essentially reskinning their old game and doing minor improvements every single year. And of course, coming out with either Black Ops 2 or Modern Warfare, Black Ops, Modern Warfare, or Advanced Warfare, and so on and so forth. Like a game that really doesn't innovate while at the same time selling tons and tons of games. It's an easy target to hit, but at the same time, you got to admit that yay for free games. And if you're bored and you were looking to check this out, definitely do. There's no better time than free time. But at the I feel like it's getting a little bit too convoluted with all the different packs and features, and pay for half the game, don't pay for the other half of the game, pay for the whole game, but then you have to pay for extras in a couple weeks, and then pay for this, pay for that. I can see where people are getting frustrated.
You get nickeled and dimed to death, you think?
Nickeled and dimed, and also at the end of the day, like if you purchase, the full game, and then weeks later, not even months later, but weeks later, a new game map pack came out that you had to spend an extra $10 on. That really, the feeling when you go buy a new phone and then you walk out the door and just like that commercial, you see the advert for the newest phone, which you are now not part of. It's kind of the same thing where, hey, I just bought this game and I already need to upgrade. What the heck?
A lot of these games have in-app purchases too. You can buy.
Yeah, and that is essentially what they're doing with these extra maps and these extra features, and of course the paint shop and things like that. They're really emulating Counter-Strike Go, but yeah, it's at the end of the day, yay for free. Go try it if you were interested in it. But I can see where people would get confused about all the different options that you have to purchase this game, because again, it's really at the end of the day, it's not just one buy this game. It's okay, either buy the deluxe, buy the normal, buy the the slimmed down version. It's confusing.
What do you think someone will wind up eventually paying if they really like the game? How much money would they be
eventually if they really do like the game? They're probably going to be purchasing the deluxe version. And the deluxe version is the standard game where, let's say that, like, really the standard game is what all your friends are going to be playing. And then probably if you really enjoy the game and you find yourself playing it for more than a couple weeks, eventually those extra maps are going to come out, and then people are going to start playing those, and you're not going to want to miss out on that. So if you buy the deluxe version, you're kind of future-proofing yourself, and that is probably what you're going to be buying anyways. So if you can get that for a deal, you're probably going to want to go for the deluxe version. Of course, that just means that, instead they found a way to, instead of make you pay $60, they found a way to make you pay $80. But hey, that's what the game costs now if you want the optimal experience, if you really do like the game.
Is that the final, or after you pay the $80, there's even more things you can buy? I mean,
this idea of season passes came out, and I know Destiny does it, and this is where I'm familiar with it, where you purchase a season pass, and it usually comes with most games, where anything that they release in that season doesn't mean that you get like the expansions. It doesn't mean you get all the DLC, but most of the DLC is included. So like, you get codes, and let's say you buy the season pass, as soon as new DLC comes out that other people would have to pay $5-10 for, you get a code that you can enter, and you'll get it for free right there on the spot. So it's it's again kind of it's future proofing yourself.
Yeah. But typically today, games we've passed the $60 point now. The game
they still come out for $60, but let's face it, they found ways to make you pay more than $60.
Got it.
They found ways. Be it new maps, be it new levels, be it new expansions. $60 is the dream, and don't get me wrong, a lot of games still hold on to it, but a lot of popular games are definitely going to run you more than $60 by the time you're done playing it.
So typically you expect to pay $100 a game?
I wouldn't even put it that way. Most single player games, they'll cost you $60. And a couple of studios, they will release updated content. They will release map packs. They'll release updates and things like that. And little mini expansions that are free. Some studios really do think that after you pay your $60, you've supported the industry, and now it's time for the industry to support you for buying in. But then there are others who think that if you want better content, you got to pay more money, and that's where it ends. So I'm still going to say the average game costs $60. I think by the time you're done with that game, most games are probably going to run you $80 to $100.
Okay.
But the entry is still $60. That's still the magical point.
Okay, there you go. All right.
It's the sad world we live in.
Evidently. Okay, so that's it for that story. It's your turn to pick one.
It is my turn. So, and I think with my turn, we're going to go over to a solar cell. Yes, and this solar cell, very, very cool.
Yeah.
Because it's incredibly thin. And when I say incredibly thin, I mean, like, wow, I did not know they could be that thin.
It looks like a soap bubble. I mean, they're having
no, the solar cell is on the bottom of the soap bubble.
Yeah, yeah.
So and that is exactly what it is. They're showing an ultra thin and lightweight solar cell that is actually sitting on the exterior of a bubble. It's that thin. Oh, and this is of course coming from Popular Science. And researchers at MIT, Massachusetts Institute of Technology, have developed an exciting proof of concept of the thinnest, lightest solar cell ever made. And of course, the key is developing such a thin and light cell, according to MIT, is a unique fabrication method. So solar cells are typically made up of layers of photovoltaic materials and substrate, such as glass or plastic. And of course, instead of the usual method of fabricating each layer separately and then depositing the layers onto the substrate, the MIT researchers made all three parts of their solar cell at the same time, a method that cuts down on performance-harming contaminants. And in the demonstration, the substrate and the coating are made from parylene, which is a flexible polymer, and the component that absorbs light was made from dibutyl phthalate.
Phthalate, yes, exactly.
Phthalate. Anyway, so the researchers note that the solar cell could be made from a number of material combinations, including perovskite, and it could be added to a variety of surfaces such as fabric or paper. There you go. There's your why does this matter? Because these are solar cells that could be deposited on the surfaces of fabric or paper. You know that American flag that's on every street corner?
Yeah.
Now they can generate electricity. I don't know. They can do something else other than just looking cool. So, and they ask the question: how thin is this solar cell really? And they said it's about 1/50th the thickness of a strand of hair. 1/50th the thickness of a strand of hair. So, and of course, the researchers placed the cell on a soap bubble, but thin and lightweight might not always be the best, as one study author, Joel Jean, said in an MIT news release, saying, if you breathe too hard, you might blow it away. So a little bit hard to work with, probably. Of course, this light weight also means that its power to weight ratio is particularly high. The high ratio translates to getting more power without adding a lot of weight, which is of course useful for high altitude balloons. The solar cell demonstrated an efficiency output of about 6 watts per gram, which MIT says is about 400 times higher than silicon-based solar cells.
Wow.
That's very impressive. And of course, now the challenge is moving the experimental lab into the real world. And they're saying that, and they have a quote here saying, how many miracles does it take to make it scalable? We think it's a lot of hard work ahead, but likely no miracles needed. So a lot more research and develop to scale it up and make sure it's feasible to produce at a large rate. But I mean, I think the main point of this is that right now, a lot of people rely on the silicon-based solar cells. That's the kind that you see on buildings, and the blue, the blue solar cells. And if they could, even layer these things, and of course that might be diminishing returns or something like that. But if they could layer them, if they were the same size and weight and thickness and all that kind of stuff of a traditional silicon solar cell, it would probably be much more efficient than those. So it's a matter of scaling the technology up. And at the end of the day, we here on the show, we deal with a lot of amazing technology that never sees the light of day. Get it? Solar cell, light of day. But it never sees the light of day because there are just a lot of problems that come up in manufacturing. So is this exciting? Yes. And is this cool? Very, very yes. But is it a sure thing? And is the future saved? Not quite.
Well, but it's certainly on the right track.
A solar cell that can sit on the surface of a bubble.
Yeah, exactly.
Very, very cool.
Well, let's this is from Tech Hive. This next story. Blu-ray discs have been out for some time, and there are, how should I say, people who want to take or make copies of the disc or make backups or just, remove the program and then take the DVD, the Blu-ray disc back, get the movie for free. I mean, it depends. Whatever the motivation, there's this Blu-ray cracking software that has been available, and evidently the makers of this Blu-ray cracking software, again according to Tech Hive, are giving up. The product is called NEDVD, okay, and the company's called, that's the product, and the company's called Slysoft. They're ceasing their operations, okay. And yet, of course, there's another one out there called DVD Fab. They're vowing not to decrypt 4K Blu-ray discs, according to the story from Jared Newman. He says it's been a rough week for Blu-ray cracking software makers and the users, and evidently on Wednesday, Slysoft, the makers of NEDVD and NEDVD HD ripping programs, replaced their entire website with a single message. And it reads, due to recent regulatory requirements, we have had to cease all activities relating to Slysoft Incorporated. We wish to thank our loyal customers and clients for their patronage over the years, unquote. That's it. Now, Slysoft really hasn't given much more of an explanation. One of their employees suggested that the CEO of the company has been under massive pressure from copyright groups and governments for nearly a decade. It also notes that a company which is based in Antigua was fined $11,000 for copyright violations in 2014, and the legal precedent may have prevented Slysoft from working with service providers. The good news, if there can be any regarding the good news, but for any current NEDVD owners, is that the software they paid for will continue to work, at least for DVDs. Certain Blu-ray discs will work with the software as well, but results will vary for others that require access to an online protection database. This database could theoretically get shut down at any time, preventing further ripping. Okay. And by the way, NEDVD isn't the only software apparently affected by a copyright crackdown. Yesterday, DVD Fab makers Fengtao announced that it will never attempt to decrypt or circumvent AACS 2.0, which is a new copy protection measure that's included in the latest 4K Blu-ray discs. Now, Ars Technica points out that AACS 2.0 was already tricky to crack permanently, as it includes an extra protection layer whose encryption keys can be updated at any time, but DVD Fab won't even try. Now, as Jared always does with the Why This Matters summation, he says, although users of ripping programs have long maintained that they're allowed to make a personal copy of the media they paid for, right? Was it first right? That doesn't stop the movie industry from going after purveyors of these programs. While we've seen some high-profile clashes before, makers of ripping programs have always found a way to survive. Well, with the closure of Slysoft and the new copy protection that DVD Fab won't attempt to defeat, it seems the movie industry has won a big future, at least for future optical media. So there it is. So if you were using it,
and I think the biggest thing here is that they're not going to continue updating the software to, and I mean the Blu-ray cracking software. Yeah. They're not going to be updating it, so that means, you know, up until a point, it's probably going to still work, and for DVDs, it's probably going to still work. But I mean, as soon as they make that one little tweak, as soon as they make that one little adjustment that's going to, you know, keep it from working on all the past software, then, you know, it's just not going to be effective anymore. So you're going to get a point where, hey, you know, if you have a DVD made before, you know, January 1st, 2016, use this software, and afterwards, might want to download it online. Mm-hmm. But yeah, you know, and this is something that we've parroted on the show many times. It's the way of physical media probably isn't, you know, something you want to get too heavily invested in anyways.
Yeah, exactly. I think this is sort of the last of it. I mean, the Blu-ray disc 4K. After that, it's going to be all streaming and downloading.
Yep, and physical media will simply be for storage for personal reasons. Like, right. there won't be a reason that you have to purchase it so that you can enjoy software. It's, you know, we live in a day and age where internet is pretty good, and I'm going to say this for most people. Please don't swamp us with comments saying that, well, I still get 6 megabits per second.
Yeah.
We're sorry about that, but most people have good internet and good reliable internet, and honestly, watch streaming a movie is not that complicated. So
I think the days of collectors, like that gentleman we know who's a doctor who has walls full of DVDs, I think is going to be finally a thing of the past. And
you say that, but there are still crazy train guys around. I mean, there's always going to be an enthusiast. So
I guess, but for the most part, barring those crazy enthusiasts, I think that made such an emotional impact when I saw that. This room's full.
Obviously, I'm surprised you still bring it up. It's that story. It's the gentleman with the crazy collection of Blu-rays, DVDs, and VHSs, and I think the other one is the taxi driver who did not want to use the internet.
Yeah,
that scarred you.
Yes, it did. Well, although I had to, he didn't have that. Gentleman didn't even have Blu-rays. He just had DVDs. He hadn't even updated to Blu-rays. He just collected DVDs.
How long was this taxi ride that you know everything about this guy's technology?
It made an impression, but
yeah,
I learned to live with it. All right. Anyway, what we got next?
I've never heard of someone just crashing down to their knees because someone else has a DVD collection. But glad you were able to feng shui that in your head.
Yes.
No, we're not gonna do that one. All right, so this one we're gonna cover really quick before the break because happy birthdays are in order, and it's a big birthday. It's a 20th birthday celebration.
Really?
Yeah. Pokemon.
Should I play Happy Birthday then?
No, because you have that. Yeah, you have that weird chipmunk one, which you don't need anymore. Happy Birthday is in the public domain, Craig. Go get a real one. I mean it. Happy Birthday is in the public domain.
It sounds like Pokemon is singing it when you.
No, it doesn't at all. You just said that.
Little tiny creatures. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, who don't speak English.
Well, I get the foreign version.
Whatever. They're like animals. They don't speak any language. They're animals. Anyways, so it's technically past midnight over in Japan, and on February 27th, 1996 was the first day that Pokemon version Red and Pokemon version Green were released to the masses, and a franchise was born that is going 20 years strong.
Who knew?
Yeah, I know. Who knew? And Pokemon, I mean, honestly, up there with Nintendo, I mean, honestly, Pikachu is right up there with Mario in terms of the most widely known, video game cartoon character in the world.
Did you mention the yellow version? You said red and blue, but you didn't mention the yellow version.
Yeah. Well, yellow came out a little bit later, but yeah, I actually said red and green. Red and green were the original Pokemons, and then red and blue were actually released in the US, and yellow a little time after that. But yeah, so of course Nintendo is extremely proud of what they've done, and not only that, but they have announced their next generation of Pokemon. For anyone out there who remembers 20 years ago when the game first launched, there were 151 different Pokemon. And and that started off a lifelong dream of every kid who ever played Pokemon. But now, if you've been paying attention, there are now 721 different Pokemon. And just today, on their 20th anniversary, they have announced Pokemon Sun and Pokemon Moon, which is the two newest generations of Pokemon, and they will be releasing probably a little bit over 100 new Pokemon with them as well. So, well over 800 Pokemon later, 20 years later, and they're still going strong. And to celebrate, of course, the 20th anniversary, Pokemon Red and Blue and Yellow will be available for download in the Nintendo eShop on February 27th, which is actually tomorrow here in the US. So yeah, these games will also make the advantage of the Pokemon Bank, allowing players to transfer their Pokemon to the Sun and Moon games once those launch. So all of your old classic favorites can be transferred to the new game so that you can play them.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's now Pokemon Sun, Pokemon Moon, the two newest installments, they're scheduled to release in late 2016. So think in time for the holidays. And so if you are a fan of Pokemon, happy birthday. Definitely go check out the swag and all the festivities going on all over the internet. This is a much bigger deal in Japan because Pokemon there is such a huge part of their cartoon gaming culture. But to a lot of people, I mean, I know myself. I grew up playing Pokemon. Pokemon was, the thing that I cheated by playing in elementary school. I used to hide my Game Boy in my backpack and play Pokemon instead of listening to the teachers. And now here I am. So, kids, cautionary tale. But Pokemon Sun and Pokemon Moon this at the end of this year.
All right. Okay, we're at the bottom of the hour. When we come back, we're going to do, I think I'm going to come back with a story about Microsoft is officially killing its Android app porting tool. Ooh.
Dun, dun, dun.
Yeah, exactly. Also, we're going to have a social media winner of the week. We're going to be announcing the winner as well. We got a short break coming up. You're listening to the Computer America program. We will be right back. Hi, this is Craig Crossman, host of the Computer America Show. You have important meetings to schedule. Your company's getting ready for its IPO, and you're in charge of the PTA fundraiser this month. So how do you coordinate everyone to be available at the same time? Are you still using emails, phone calls, even text messages to schedule meetings with a group of people? How's that working out for you? That's so great, huh? It's a fact that every day, millions of people suffer from scheduling headaches. Well, with Doodle, scheduling meetings with a group of people is quick and easy. With Doodle, you can easily propose available times to each member. Each one checks off the times that they're available, and then you simply pick the time that works best for the group, all in an easy-to-read display that integrates with your existing calendar. Nothing could be more simple. Give Doodle a try for free, and like millions of Doodle users, you'll truly see how easy it is to find the perfect date and time for all your meetings. That's www.doodle.com. Looking for a best friend? Brother Wolf Animal Rescue has your best friend waiting just for you. The mission of Brother Wolf Animal Rescue is to help build a sustainable, no-kill community where no dogs or cats are ever killed for population control, where true euthanasia is reserved only for animals who are irremediably suffering or for animals who are truly a threat to society and with no hope of rehabilitation. Brother Wolf staff and volunteers go door to door, neighborhood by neighborhood, to educate citizens about local resources available for at-risk pets and to help their families connect with those resources. Brother Wolf's community-based approach to no-kill helps keep family pets healthy, happy, and in their homes and out of the local shelter system in the first place. For more information or to make a tax-deductible donation to this wonderful 501c3 organization, visit their website at www.bwar.org. Help to realize Brother Wolf's vision when no animal is euthanized for lack of a home.
Who's a good boy?
No, the Las Vegas trip is a place, not a dance. Marty Winston with the News Tips Bulletin Review for Computer America. This time, the InSinkErator Evolution XL. If you could wave technology's magic wand over a garbage disposer, how would you change it? InSinkErator did that with the Evolution XL, and for starters, made it a lot quieter. That trick was done in part by acoustically decoupling it from hard plumbing connections, and in part with noise insulation inside the housing, plus, in part, a new baffle, that's the drain cover thing, that creates a lateral water flow layer to also block audio. Inside, a 1-horsepower 3-stage grinder and its jam-busting controller now handle things like bones that stymie other disposers, so all that passes through is granular or powdery particles. Bottom line, InSinkErator Evolution XL sends traditional disposer annoyances down the drain. Marty Winston, News Tips Bulletin for Computer America.
Welcome back to the Computer America Show. And that's the last time you'll be hearing either one of those News Tip Bulletin reviews. Finally, am I right, folks? Finally. And we'll be getting 2 new ones next week.
Exactly.
About time.
About time. Well, we always have 2 new ones every week, and so we're doing computer technology brought to you by Slimware Utilities. They are the official optimization software of Computer America. And this next story, I teased it from Engadget. Microsoft is officially killing its Android app porting tools. Okay, and basically, what Microsoft is doing is it's urging its developers to make use of its new purchase, Xamarin. Okay, well, the article goes on saying this is
Whoa.
what?
What are you doing?
What?
Aren't we supposed to be giving away a prize?
Oh, you're right. Oh my gosh. Oh yeah.
I thought you were taking over to give away a prize. We have a prize. We have the MX Anywhere 2 Logitech mouse.
Yes, we did.
With dark field technology that we need to give away to a listener, or else we get in deep trouble.
Yes, you're right. Okay, so let's do it. Okay, this week's social media winner is Bruce Evans. Bruce Evans, congratulations. You're this week's social media winner of the week. Bruce listens to us in Naples, Florida. Not too far from us here. Bruce wins the Logitech MX Anywhere 2 wireless mouse. It has that dark field technology, so it works on glass surfaces. You can pair up to 3 computers and switch between them with the touch of a button thanks to its easy switch technology. It's compact, valued at $80. It's yours. Congratulations, Bruce Evans. You're our winner, our social media winner of the week. Head over to computeramerica.com and you can be just like Bruce. You know, it could be your name we're calling out next week. You know, just like any one of our social media venues that we participate in, like Facebook, Twitter, Pinterest, Google Plus, YouTube. I mean, just like it, subscribe to it, and you're done. Each one counts for an additional entry. You get, I think, up to 5 entries each week. You do it once, and then but you can do up to 5 of them, and I think you get 5 entries every single week. So it's all explained at computeramerica.com. Could be you. We're calling your name next week. Anyhow, we're doing this story from Engadget. Microsoft's officially killing its Android app porting tool, and they want you to use Xamarin instead. And according to the story, again from Timothy Sapala, he says it didn't take very long. As after lots of silence regarding Project Astoria, Microsoft is killing it in favor of its shiny new Xamarin purchase. Now, it wasn't major news, but it was there. Astoria was the initiative that made porting Android apps to Windows 10 supposedly, really easy. But yesterday's announcement that Microsoft had purchased a Xamarin, a company whose sole mission is multi-platform apps. Perhaps the news isn't entirely surprising considering the delay Astoria hit last November. In fact, the Windows blog post mentions Xamarin explicitly several times, saying that developers can now use that tool set and a pretty big chunk of their existing C code for the cross-platform applications. The problem, Microsoft says, was that based on feedback, having 2 bridges, one for iOS and another for Android, was confusing for developers. 2 things, it gets really complex. Now, one is, okay, but when you give developers 2 things, they get confused, evidently. They can't handle it. So it was confusing for developers. Here's a quote. It says, "We have carefully considered this feedback and decided that we would focus our efforts on the Windows bridge for iOS and make it the single bridge for bringing mobile code to all Windows 10 devices, including Xbox and PCs." Okay. Android developers, well, focus on using the iOS bridge and yet Xamarin. And that's it. There you go.
Well,
Xamarin it is.
Yeah. Who needs devices to talk to each other?
Yeah, right.
I say more diversity. It's good for the world. It's good for the work environment, and it's good for you.
And it gets confusing too.
That too. Okay, let's go with this one. Amazon, they've long been known for their the plethora of services that they can pack into a single Amazon Prime subscription service. It's shocking really when you know, I think most people subscribe to it for the free 2-day shipping on Amazon Prime.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh my God, and look at all this other stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, but now Amazon is trying something a little different. So yes, Amazon yesterday announced the season 3 of Vogue's The Fashion Fund. It is now available for streaming through its video library. And this series is a little different than the company's Prime Video offerings, though, as you can watch The Fashion Fund for free thanks to ads. And this is a first for Amazon, breaking from its subscription-based streaming plan to offer free ad-supported content to viewers. The company has offered television shows for free if you're willing to sit through ads before, but usually the selections are limited to the first episode. So, of course, this begs the question: is Amazon prepping a free video service that will get by on revenue from ads?
Ooh.
And yeah, and this article from Gadget says, maybe. There are a couple of other explanations. First, as we mentioned, Amazon is selling items from the designers on the show on its site. So you're basically watching one big ad for the Fashion Fund collection. So there's no doubt that the company is looking to drive sales. Amazon could also be using the ad-supported method to test the waters of unscripted original series. So yeah, and this is according to an Amazon spokesperson saying that we're always experimenting on behalf of our customers, including experimenting with ads. She went on to explain that using ads to support the production of the Fashion Fund was on the table because of the strong interest from said advertisers. We'd surmise that if Amazon wanted to do an unscripted cooking show, something along the lines of Chopped or Top Chef, the pool of interested brands would be quite deep as well. So, of course, the one thing that the spokeswoman did confirm was that ads didn't appear on Prime Video. So if you already have Prime and you wanted to watch this, you would not be subject to those ads.
Good.
Good indeed. So, and of course, Rika points out that a free streaming tier would likely pull in a lot of people who aren't willing to pay $99 for Prime or make other movie and TV show purchases. Either way, Amazon isn't revealing any hints as to its future plans. And of course, we'll have to wait and see the effects of Vogue's show on driving viewers and, of course, sales. So a free video service is certainly an interesting proposition for the company. And of course, in the meantime, we've, the folks from Engadget have reached out. But yeah, this is kind of interesting that a streaming service, that Amazon Prime Video, might just be going back to the good old days of television and ad-driven, programming.
Yeah. Well, that's network television. It's all ad-driven,
That's network television. This is internet. This is, and not just internet. This is an already successful, they have a lot of users, but I'm not sure how many people actually subscribe to Amazon Prime strictly for the video service. But and this is by most metrics an already successful video streaming service. So now we have to scratch your head. Why are they trying to offer this for free? And honestly, it might just be what they said earlier, where the Fashion Fund, the show itself, is essentially one big ad. It's everything that they show, create, do on the show is available through the Amazon Marketplace. So essentially, they want to offer it for free because, hey, you get people watching for free. They are, they're probably going to be interested in purchasing what they see. And then beyond that, with the ad revenue added into that, the ads are probably going to drive sales of other related fashion products. So I guess the whole thing is just one huge money sink for people.
Yeah. Okay. By the way, evidently I fixed that problem. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So we have time to do a couple more stories here.
We do indeed.
Yes. Tech Hive has an interesting sum. The FCC wants to blow up the cable box.
I don't know about that, but
Well, according to this article here, it says, here's what its proposal will and won't do. Okay. This is by Jared Newman. He says, last week, the FCC suggested that the cable box business is broken and offered a plan to fix it. And under the FCC's proposal, TV operators would have to supply their video to any device using open standards. So instead of leasing expensive boxes from the cable company, which, by the way, inevitably become obsolete and old, I mean, subscribers would be able to purchase alternatives, possibly from, electronic brands such as Apple or Google. And those boxes could be cheaper and have better interfaces than what cable, satellite, and telco providers offer today. They could be upgradable through software, online. There are a lot of things that you could do. Now, on the first blush here, it sounds that the proposal sounds, wow, it sounds good. But it also has created a fair amount of confusion. You see, not everyone seems to understand what the proposal will accomplish. And according to Jared, he's come up with his own lingering questions since reading the initial coverage last week. He asked some questions. He says, and this is what he's learned. He says, the proposal could bring TV bundles to streaming boxes and smart televisions. Yay! But, boo. TV operators would deliver their video to the home through the internet protocol. So instead of connecting a coaxial cable to a cable box and plugging that into your TV, you'd get to watch the same exact channels from any device with a Wi-Fi or Ethernet connection. Yay! These devices could include streaming boxes like Apple TV and Fire TV, cheaper streaming dongles such as the Chromecast, and even smart TVs, which would eliminate the need for separate boxes entirely. That would be nice. But he says it's not the same way as Netflix or Hulu works. He says that's where it gets complicated. IP-based video isn't necessarily the same as streaming from the internet. Huh? Okay. He says, if you get a TV bundle from Comcast, you'd still be using the portion of the cable pipe that Comcast dedicates to its own video services. The difference is that along the way, that signal gets converted from cable to internet protocols that your streaming box can accept. So, but by comparison, a service like Netflix streams over the public internet. It competes for bandwidth with all the other internet activities in your house, from uploading Facebook photos to playing online games, and in some cases may even count towards internet data caps. None of those characteristics would apply to the video your cable company delivers over IP. Okay. Now, yeah, no, it makes it is confusing, but you think about it, it makes sense. He said, look, because TV providers aren't just streaming internet video, they still need some way to convert the cable or satellite signal and ensure their content is delivered securely. This may require more than just the streaming hardware you already own. He says, for instance, Cox cable could require you to lease a special cable modem that passes the video along to your home network. Or alternatively, you might still have to rent a single cable box, under which could then enable video on any number of other network devices. Okay. At the moment, this hardware solution, known as the FCC's proposal as a virtual head end, isn't set in stone. But chances are you won't be completely free of rental fees. You're probably, in the short term, going to need something in the house. This is according to a senior staff attorney at the advocacy known as Public Knowledge. It's just sort of an open question of exactly what the device would be. Thankfully, the FCC's proposal includes some billing transparencies requirements to ensure that if this new hardware is cheaper, TV providers can't just move any cost savings to a different part of your bill. The good news is that additional hardware may not be necessary in all cases. Yay. Alongside the virtual head-end solution described, which we just told you about, TV operators would also be able to host the entire conversion, and security system on their own cloud servers. That way, they can deliver IP-based video directly to your home networks where your existing media streamers could gain access. Okay. Now, some of the major TV operators have this capability already. Comcast, for instance, they're using a cloud-based solution for its Comcast Stream video services, which is aimed at cord cutters and requires no special hardware for watching video or connected devices. Other providers will probably follow suit as they offer their own cable box free TV plans. Okay. Now, in announcing its proposal, the FCC pointed to outrageously high cable box rental fees, which have increased 185% since 1994, even as other electronics have gotten cheaper. But pricing isn't the FCC's only justification. Cable boxes have also fallen behind the times compared to modern media streamers. They're really clunky.
Yeah, and part of that probably has to do with that. Technology advances, year over year, standard over standard, and the cable companies, they have to compete with one another. Comcast has to compete with AT&T, has to compete with so and so, but at the end of the day, they don't have to compete with anyone else. Like, it's very, very hard for a smaller company to get into the business of providing television for people. And, where, let's say, personal computers, if you buy a computer today, compared to 3 years ago, it's night and day difference. But, if you subscribe to, let's just, pick AT&T out of my hat, if you subscribe to AT&T today, rather than if you subscribe to AT&T 3 or 5 years ago, you're probably still going to be using the same equipment, or at least very similar equipment to what you were using back then. I mean, there's really no reason to change, or there's really no reason to really push the technology when there's so few competitors that really, as long as you offer a little bit better price and a little bit better content, then you don't really have to worry about your technology, which is sadly woefully lacking compared to internet and every other facet of our entertainment lives.
Well, that's why the FCC's proposal gives the device makers full control over the TV interface. A device like Apple TV, for instance, could rearrange the state cable menu system or imbue it with powerful Siri voice commands. An Amazon Fire TV could bring television and connected home controls together under a single interface. TiVo might be able to offer new time shifting or DVR features that don't come with the standard satellite box. The hope is that innovation will flourish as these companies compete with one another. But cable companies don't want this to happen, which is one reason they put forth a counter proposal that relegates the entire pay TV experience to self-contained apps. They would maintain complete control over the user experience and over which platforms have access. The result would likely be limited app support, with public knowledge's Bergamer, who made the quote earlier, noting that the industry's already patchy record with authenticated pay TV apps. An app only exists if the cable company writes it, he says. That's not good. Although they are saying it's still better than cable card. There is a system that exists today for devices makers to alter the pay TV experience. It's known as cable card. This is what TiVo currently uses for existence to offer its own DVR experience to cable subscribers. But cable card has many more limitations compared to the FCC's new proposal. The system only works with cable TV, not satellite, and it requires a separate card for each device. Cable providers may put limits on how many cable card customers may lease, and setup can be a major hassle. So basically, because of all those headaches, most device makers haven't bothered offering solutions based on cable card. It's been around for a while. So in summation, basically right now, the FCC hasn't mandated anything. I mean, it's all open. The agency has merely proposed a set of rules and invited public comments. It'll likely be months before the FCC votes on the final rules, which themselves would have a 2-year implementation period. Okay, so things move slowly. A lot could happen between now and then. With presidential elections coming up, the FCC chairman, Tom Wheeler, might be replaced before seeing the proposal through. And given the rapid pace of change in the video industry right now, the idea of relying on a cable or satellite provider for your pay TV package could seem quaint by the time the rules kick in. I mean, really, like buggy whip technology. It'll be that way, you know. Still, the whole issue has brought plenty of fist pounding from cable companies and rekindled the discussion of what a rip-off cable boxes can be. I guess that's got to be worth something, regardless of what happens next. So there you go.
Because I know that, you know, sometimes if you're renting the equipment from these people, and this is just like the whole modem thing, or not modem, router thing that we keep talking about on the show. If you're renting that equipment, you know, let's face it, you're paying, you know, sometimes $10-15 to rent that every single month just to use it. Imagine if you can go out and buy your own cable box from, you know, someone that you much rather prefer to do business with, like Apple. And then you would have to, you know, rent that $10-15 over the course of a year. It's probably going to pay for itself.
Yeah, I would think so. And not only that, would be more technologically evolved than that cable box that you have.
Again, we're dealing with an industry that really has no incentive to innovate. They have incentive to drive their costs down, you know, to compete with their competitors, and they have incentive to provide better content. But for innovations, no, they really have had no need.
Well, they have a vested interest in the equipment. I mean, there's $1 of value to all this equipment. They just can't throw it out, you know, because then they take a loss. So they're trying to use that equipment for as long as they can, you know, and
see, and that makes sense from a business perspective, but from a consumer perspective, you don't want to be using the old stuff just because someone's cheap.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly the point. They want to keep it because, you know, they don't want to pay for new technology. You know, the answer is to find a technology that can be, you know, either
like that doesn't sound so bad. Like I think people do it every day. I think people buy a computer, and I've seen, you know, friends of mine who will use computer, you know, for years after they honestly should have thrown it in a scrap heap or recycled it. Folks, recycle your computers. But that, you know, that they should have done away with it. But they use it because, hey, it's free and I have it, it's mine, and, you know, I know how to use it. And you know, it's laggy. It you know, it skips frames. It, you know, randomly crashes. I have one friend that had to buy like dry ice and like a fan and like pump, you know, dry ice, carbon or air into the computer to keep it running. Like I've seen some bad stuff, but I think when a cable company does it and you go and subscribe with that cable company and you get that 5-year-old box, you're like, okay, now I just feel ripped off because I paid all the prices that, you know, someone did 5 years ago for the exact same equipment, but now I have a hand-me-down, and, you know, even though I'm paying top prices, so I can see where people are frustrated, and I really do hope the FCC does open up this field because, you know, the Roku, the Apple TV, the Chrome, the Fire Stick, they're increasing in popularity. They're not decreasing in popularity. And I'm sure if some of them could integrate cable television into them, that, you know, as much as we talk about cord cutters, I think people, you know, they might like the option of including cable into their lineup if it was more convenient.
I mean, that's the key. If it's more convenient, you know. Well, we're right in the thick of it. We'll keep you informed. We not only report on it, we use this stuff. Let's face it.
Yeah, the FCC's been on a roll lately, you know, and really taking on a lot of cases that I think people were worried about when Mr. Wheeler was appointed. Because again, Wheeler was he was the chairman of, I want to say, Comcast.
Yeah, I think so.
Or Time Warner. One of those, but yeah, and you know, everyone's saying that he's too heavily vested and would be too pro on the side of the cable companies and IPs, and the internet providers. But no, he's really going for the throat on a lot of issues.
Yeah, because they were all calling him a ringer, and he was going to roll over because he had it was a conflict of interest, but evidently it didn't seem to be happening. So I guess maybe President Obama knew what he was doing when he hired him. Or so anyhow. That about wraps it up. We don't have time to do any more stories. The weekend is upon us. Again, I want to congratulate Bruce Evans in Naples, Florida, for being this week's social media winner. He gets that Logitech MX Anywhere 2 wireless mouse. We'll get that to him
90 seconds.
In the meantime, what do we got coming up on Monday? We're going to have, in the second hour, we're going to have a company called Net Talk. They've been on the show before, but it's been a long time, and so we're going to have them back. They make a little tiny plug-in product that will allow you to make free telephone calls. It's very cool. And they have a wireless version, a Wi-Fi version, so you can put your phone anywhere. So you're not bound by wires. And in the first hour, we're going to be doing computer and technology news, brought to you by Slimware Utilities, the official optimization software of Computer America. We might also have DecaWave on the first hour, talking about the Internet of Things. We'll just have to see how it pans out. Keep your eye tuned to the public calendar at computeramerica.com, and then you will know as soon as we know. But have a great weekend. Thank you all for being here with us, and Ben and I will see you here on Monday afternoon. So until Monday afternoon, this is Craig Crossman, hoping that your hard disk never becomes floppy. Have a great weekend.
Have a good one, everyone.
Take care. Bye-bye.
10 seconds. Thank you for using Blog Talk Radio. Goodbye.
Okay, again, thank you all for watching our live streaming video. Have a great weekend. Ben and I will see you on Monday. Take care. Catch a movie. Go see Deadpool.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.